So Atari's motto is futuristic since forever. And so really wanted to play up on that because we're not looking, it's not a backward. Yes, there's nostalgic parts of it. Of course, it's the original gaming console. So there is nostalgia. However, it's not a backward looking project. It's very forward looking. Gaming has exploded since COVID. It dwarfs most, or if not all, forms of entertainment at this point.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Building Scale, specifically the Building Connection series, where I get to talk to awesome people I meet here in the wild and here in the valley, and or anywhere I kind of stumble myself into. But this week, Zac Cohen is definitely a valley guy. Not a valley guy, but the valley, as in the Arizona Phoenix Valley. He runs a little company called Intersection Development, or is a co-founder of it. And they're doing something really, really cool here in the valley, which is the Atari Hotel, which we talk ad nauseum about, as well as like, how do you, as a developer, think of these awesome ideas, find partnerships and things like that, and maybe a peek into the box, as me and Zac and a couple other developers are going to have a little panel at the National Construction Board of Influence AEC Development Day in a couple months here, less than 50 days. Exciting times, absolutely. But yeah, Zac is my buddy. I enjoy Zac a ton. He's fun. He speaks his mind, which I love. And I think you're going to really enjoy this episode as well. Also, he's a two-time Building Scale, Building Connections person. So he's practically royalty around here. So yes, sit back, relax, enjoy the fun banterings of me and Zac Cohen. Zac, my friend, I am so happy to see you. Your beautiful,
you, man.
Luscious hair that I've now cut.
It's all tied up. It's all tied up.
You're all tied up. I'm always thinking, like, how can I do more stuff with Zac? And obviously you doing big stuff here in the Valley makes it easy to say, hey, like, well, let's do some podcast stuff, because this is just a lot of fun for me. Yeah.
Well, the interesting part is I never see you anywhere. Oh wait, actually I see you all the time.
Exactly. And that's a good thing. But yeah, the Atari Hotel. This is the big, newest, baddest, coolest thing. I'm a total video game. I had an Atari when I was a little kid. So like, I love that. I play Nintendo games with my son now. So like, it's just like a thing that I'm all about. So one, where did this idea come from? How did you and your band of ragtag awesome badasses think of this?
Well, I wish I could take credit for the idea for Atari Hotel, but that would go to my partners, Jordan Taylor, Jason Merck, and Shelley Murphy,
awesome,
who hatched this idea a while ago and purchased the global rights to Atari Hotels as a licensing agreement from Atari. So I can't really speak to how that happened. I mean, I know like the gist of it, but don't want to misspeak. So I am not the brainchild behind the idea for Atari.
Okay. Well, maybe back it up then. It seems like all the stuff that you guys do is always just cool. Like, it's always just like awesome shit. How does that happen? There's so many developers that, build the same shit over and over again. You guys are like, no, how can we just like one up the last thing we did and make a cool space?
I don't know if it's one upping, but I mean, we definitely believe in human-centric developments, things that make communities better, that make people more proud of their communities, that evoke discussion and thought. So we try to approach every project by first envisioning the human who's going to occupy that space or participate or work or play or live in that space, and design outward from his perspective out. The problem with a lot of architects and developers is they first do a site plan, then they do a massing study, and then they try to fit some human elements within the space that's already been designed to maximize square footage. We do it the other way. So it's just a different approach. We feel it's just as I said, like a more human-centric, holistic approach to design, where we're really trying to, in the case of Atari, instead of building an Atari-themed hotel, I always say it's not themed, it's played. But much like a video game, we are trying to actually do world so that you are fully immersed in the space, in the world of Atari, rather than being at a hotel that just happens to have some Atari decorations and some video games on the wall. So it's a much different approach to to the hotel business, and it's a much different approach to development.
The design of it, because I've seen the renderings of it, and all like the little nuance stuff to it is just super cool. Like the shapes of like the windows or is it the bases? I remember looking at it and be like, oh my god, that's like asteroid or whatever the Galaga. Like it's like I
Yeah.
was like, this is amazing. This is so cool. Where it's like such a nuanced. It's not like in your face, like, get me, I'm a giant Pac-Man, which maybe that happens and that's cool too. But like I feel like there's I don't know, it's like a playful way to do it in comparison to like a let me just drown you in like a gift shop of Atari.
Yeah, again, that goes back to world building again. We don't want it to be derivative. We don't want it to be, exactly pictures of old games on the wall, although there will be old games and future looking experiences. But there, we really leaned into Tron and Blade Runner for the
Sure.
design. I mean, I feel like those kind of go hand in hand with that era and with futurism. There's Tetris you can see in the facade. There's certainly references to Pong by the way the buildings sort of interact. The two sides interact with each other. The pools are exact shapes from the game Asteroid.
Yeah.
There are light elements in the facade that are meant to reference the original circuitry from game boards from the original Atari and old
That's so
old
cool.
gaming systems. So that's just a few of the Easter eggs that we or design elements that we've incorporated into the building. I mean, we're really trying. It's a game. It should be playful when we do other buildings outside of Rainbow because that's also based on a game. We really want this to be a playful user experience that gamers can call home, that people in Phoenix can come visit for entertainment with their kids or their parents, or if they're music fans. I mean, there's a lot of different programming that I'm sure we'll get into. But yeah, I mean, we really wanted to be playful with the design. It's a game; it should be played, and so that's sort of where the inspiration came from.
Okay, that's awesome. So, as you were thinking of the human that is going to exist here, or as the
Yeah.
team is thinking about the human that exists here, what are the things that you drew upon? Obviously, you mentioned the aspects of the game, but like it's also not just thinking like, hey, this game that existed, I don't know, Atari came out 40 years ago, I don't know, whenever it came out, but also
1972.
future. That wow, holy crap! So like longer than that. That's insane. That's like that's a very long time ago. So, but the future aspect of it, because it's not just like let's live in that time. But what does the future look like, and how do you put that person, that human, and say like, hey, I want you to have that nostalgia, but I also want the forward facing future stuff.
So Atari's motto is futuristic since forever. And so really wanted to play up on that because we're not looking, it's not a backward. Yes, there's nostalgic parts of it. Of course, it's the original gaming console. So there is nostalgia. However, it's not a backward looking project. It's very forward looking. Gaming has exploded since COVID. It dwarfs most or if not all forms of entertainment at this point. So we really wanted to lean in what the user experience is going to be and what they're looking for. And so we have a huge underground music venue, which will be 2,200 capacity music venue, all underground.
Wow.
It's
Okay.
going to be, I mean, what you're picturing in your head is probably 50% of what it's going to be like. It's going to be really amazing, and we have an incredible partner on that. I think that press is coming shortly, so I actually
Okay.
can't jump the gun there.
Mum's the word. All right.
Yeah, but we have a great music partner, and then we're gonna do an esports gaming venue, with a sports book along with it. So that's going to cater to sports fans, music fans, gaming fans. There's just a ton of digital programming in it. We're looking to have hologram front desk so that you're checked in by AI holograms
What?
rather than by actual human beings. There'll be facial recognition so that if you're a guest at the hotel, you could put in your preferences and the hotel will actually change as you pass through it. So I mean, we're looking at a lot of just incredible technology that hasn't been available. And, there's a 3-year build out. We hope to break ground in December. So to be open by December of 28. So who knows what will be going on at that point in time. But we do have Intel as a partner to ensure our infrastructure backbone allows us to be able to implement the most current the most forward thinking technology to really enhance user experiences and make people just, it plays more back into this world building that I'm talking about. We're really trying to create not a hotel where you play games, but an entire world of Atari here in Phoenix.
That's unbelievable. I am very excited to see the technology you're talking about now. And it's like 2 years from now, 3 years from now, what does that then become? AI is moving so fast. So it's like, oh my goodness.
I mean, two
It's so
years ago,
exciting.
nobody even, AI was like a myth, right? So it's crazy how fast it's moving. And, I'm excited to see how it can help us really deliver great experiences to guests who, people don't want a hotel anymore where they just go and spend the night. They want experiences. That whole old model is sort of gone. People are over it. They want to really enter a new world and be detached from their regular lives. And so we're trying to play upon that to get them to be like the future of what hotel concepts will be. So I mean, I rambled a little there, but that's all right.
No,
I tend to do that.
that's amazing. So you mentioned partners, both the music partner that is still under wraps, and then Intel. So
Yes.
how do you choose great partners? How do you go down that path as you're looking to do things that are not in the boxes that have historically been done, and you're looking to say we want to do things differently. We want to be seen as future, especially in this project being very futuristic. Is forever whatever Atari's future is
Futuristic
forever.
since forever.
Since forever.
Yeah.
Yes. So how do you find partners that also have that same vibe?
Well, we've been really lucky in that almost 100% of the partners that we've reached out to express some interest in being a part of this. They see what we see, that this is an opportunity to really do something incredible. And we have other cities planned coming up after Phoenix, but we live here, we love Phoenix, the city has been a great partner. So we're going to do the first one here in Phoenix. But I think I'm falling away from your original. Oh, partners. Yeah.
Partners.
So Intel's been a partner for a while. I mean, there hasn't been a lot of work done to this point, but they're going to work with us to do the backbone infrastructure. We've reached out to sound partners, obviously our EDM partner. There's a ton of different potential experiences that are going to be contained, because it's 100,000 square feet of entertainment space and only 91 keys. So fully 60 to 70% of the hotel will be an entertainment venue.
Okay.
And therefore only 40% is going to be dedicated to the hotel. So it's not really a hotel. It's not a hotel that offers entertainment. It's a entertainment venue with a hotel attachment. There's only 91 keys, and that means something too. There's 19 suites and 72 standard rooms, because Atari again was founded in 1972. So there's another
72.
little call out right there. And those are kind of peppered throughout. So yeah.
I love that. So then it really goes back to the idea of community, right? Because like it's not just a hotel, it's actually more of entertainment space that has the hotel piece to it, but it is for, I think you said 2,200
Capacity
capacity of 2,200
music venue.
Like, yeah, that is a separate thing that is for the community. Obviously, people staying at the hotel can use it, but like people that aren't staying at the hotel can use it, which is a big piece of your ethos, I think.
Yeah, 100,000 square feet for 91 keys would be a lot of entertainment space per person. Yeah, so no, it really is community focused. We own, I don't know if you know or not, but we own the whole block except for the Stewart. And so we're actually planning Atari as part of a larger entertainment district, if you will.
Okay.
So south of the Atari site, I look over there because it's right there.
Yeah.
Is where our office is, and Barcoa is there. They're, of course, a famous bar, incredible bar. They're doing something on the former Chico space, which is at the front of this building, which is F&B related. They haven't announced what that is yet, so I'm not going to get into that. South of that is our Sisu Manzana building, and so we will have both First Ave and Alley facing F&B in that building. Then south of that are the bungalows in the historic Stoddard Harmon House, Clive Kala and Tell Your Friends and Neon Spur and all those great concepts. They're going to do 3 separate concepts there that'll have both alley facing. And I mean, there's one called Ada, which is kind of a raw bar, oysters and crab, like so a traditional seafood raw bar. Then they have a one called Love Call, which is going to be, meats, and that one's really futuristic in the way that that's been designed. And then they're doing a Japanese robota grill called Kuzatori. So that those will all sort of activate. And then on the other side, central, we've got, you know, Ha- Harumi over there, and like Central Records and all that. So what we're trying to do is sort of create the first alley experience down here, so
Okay.
that, and the capstone is Atari. So there'll be food and beverage and entertainment. There's also a outdoor entertainment venue for about 300 people that'll be part of that Clive Collective space. That's called Mode. So there'll be all kinds of food and beverage and entertainment up and down both First Ave, Central, and in the alley, to sort of bring the whole new center of entertainment right here to, not that it's not, the energy's here at Roosevelt Row already, but just, to bring a whole lot more of that to this area.
How do you, this is such a huge, it's not just one thing, right? It's like, how do we collectively come together to make an unbelievable experience for everybody inside the hotel, outside the hotel, like literally everywhere? How do you get that to happen? Like, it's awesome when you go somewhere and you're like, this place is great. I love this. You can walk to all these places. There's all these, restaurants and bars and like cool shit to do. But like, how does that actually come together? Like, how does that happen? Obviously, working with the city has to be a piece of that, I would
Yeah,
assume. But like,
absolutely.
how do you get some big idea like that to actually in ground and then up in a building?
I mean, honestly, I wish I could take credit for that too. I have great partners that are open to a lot of different ideas, and they come up with many of the ideas. I work on the design and construction side, but Jordan and Jason and Shelly are great partners, and they all have real big ideas. And so I'm lucky to have such partners that think much in terms like I do. Like, how do we make our neighborhood better? How do we provide, public access to things? We don't like walled gardens. All of the buildings that we do have some public component to them. We don't have any pure residential, you lock the door concepts. That they all want to be part of the community. That goes back to how I see architecture, which is, architecture is art. It's livable, walkable art, and it should be enjoyed by those who walk by it. I make the analogy all the time, and I should probably do it because I'm in jeopardy of having all of my interviews sound somewhat the same. But when you walk around in great cities like Rome or Paris or Naples or wherever, you feel a sense of, or Madrid or Barcelona or wherever, you feel a sense of something bigger, because the architecture makes you feel like you're connected to some kind of source, really, to some kind of expression of human existence. And we're sorely lacking that in Phoenix. But I mean, that's sort of how my that sort of actual vision has grown over the years, is to look at each property as, how can this make the people who live in it or near it or walk past it prouder of the city that they live in? How does it make them feel like a part of something bigger? How does it make them connect and want to come back and tell stories, and when they're out of town say, hey, you know what, we have this going on in Phoenix? So that's sort of the ethos of how we approach all of our projects, whether it's a TI in a adaptive reuse historic building like we're going to do with Ada in the Stoddard Harmon House, or whether we're doing the Atari Hotel, which is, $150 million capstone hospitality and entertainment piece. But yeah, that's you asked a question. I hope I answered it. But yeah.
No, absolutely. You have, it's just in conversations with you, you've made me see design differently, right? Like, I originally from Chicago, lots of architecture, lots of, like, it's a thing. And then moving to Phoenix and not seeing the same kind of things, it was not something I understood immediately. But then obviously talking with you, talking to other designers, other architects, it's like, oh, because everybody says it, like Phoenix just doesn't have that. And it's like, well, how do you get, right? Like, because that, for me, I'm like, well, why couldn't you just take an old building and make it better? And then it's like, well, it doesn't. There's so many red tape that goes into that, and there's a lot more challenges when you take an old building. But to start new, like, it's like at some point somebody had to build that architecture, that beautiful piece of art, and it's like, it sounds like what you try to do with your projects is that, even though it's not like I can't go back 70 years and recreate a building.
There are some great adaptive reuse projects going on in Phoenix right now, and there has been great architecture in the past. The issue for me isn't the old architecture. The issue for me is that Phoenix, because it developed so much later and there are so many opportunities downtown to build new buildings, it's not as dense as other cities. There's opportunity to do cool stuff here. My issue is that the opportunity to create an architecturally distinct city with unique projects that move people is largely being filled in to this point by developers and architects who are doing cookie cutter buildings that are really indistinguishable from the next. I mean, they're basically taking, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, they're taking the sort of the master plan community model where all the houses are similar if not identical to the one next door, and they're just doing a vertical version of that where they're involved in this amenities race, and they really don't care what the outside of the building looks like. They only care, like, does it have a pickleball court, or how many foosball or pool tables does it have? And like, go to these buildings, and it's sad because if you go to all these amenities, they're largely empty. It's just wasted space. So we have a very different approach to what we do and how we see architecture. But yeah, what we'd like and what we hope for is to be the catalyst to have some people think differently about how they do their own buildings or design buildings for Phoenix, and maybe take more creative artistic license with what they're doing here, and build something not to maximize every dollar that comes out of the project, but instead to build something that increases the value of the community as a whole.
Yeah. I think of your other project, Rainbow Road, and how that isn't just a box, which is, I feel like, to what you're talking about, is like, how do we just stack on top of each other the same box on box on box on box on box? And so it's cool to see that you are taking that approach of saying, like, there's more to this than just how do I get X amount of dollars out of this project. It's, hey, like, you're leaving a much bigger impact, and people should take that more seriously. Like, that's not like you're giving the gift of being able to have impact. You should use that to your advantage, or to the community's advantage, and not just your solid.
I mean, it's not. We also believe, like, these buildings will be worth more over time than much like a custom home will be, or a unique home will be worth more over time than a track home or a mass produced home. We believe that buildings that have their own soul will be worth more than buildings that are soulless. So I mean, I just believe that's true, and so far we've been exploring that, and we'll see how it goes. Residential or mixed use is different than hospitality, right? So hospitality, I think, going forward, has to do this. I think people are tired of soulless hotels. People, at least in Phoenix, need to get used to. I would love it if people in the valley would demand more from architecture. It truly affects people in more ways than they know.
Yeah, that's something that I've come to appreciate more and more, having conversations where it's not just that it looks nice, that there's more to it. There's more science actually behind it, which is pretty cool. Yeah. All right. Yeah, a big project happening. How does the load work in regards to, like, focus that you have with design and construction? You have other projects going on as well. Like, what, when you take on something as big and as, impactful and future driven as Atari Hotel, what are the, like, on the behind the scenes? Like, how does that work? Like, how does your work structure happen? Because you're also doing other stuff, but this seems like it's such a big thing.
Yeah, we will break ground on our Sisu apartments, which is just to the south of our office here. That's part of that entertainment zone. There's 125 apartments there. It's 12 stories tall. It has ground floor F&B, three floors of podium parking, and then one level of office where we'll eventually move our offices to.
Oh, it's
That's
awesome.
so that'll break ground. We're just working our final comments from the city, and so we'll get that back into them in the next 3 weeks and hopefully be approved, well, mid-April, so we can get started maybe the 1st of May. So we're really excited about that. We have another high-rise planned down in Roosevelt Row that we haven't begun designing yet, but we have acquired the land, so we'll start working on that. We've expanded from intersection. We've expanded to a Dallas office that Jordan Taylor is running out there now.
Wow.
So we've moved into Dallas. So we're starting to look at land to do some things there. And then we've secured land in Denver for a project coming up. So we're actively working in multiple markets right now. And we are actively seeking more projects. So if people listen to this, they're landowners or want to do a project, hit me up. Let's go.
Love that. That's cool. I didn't even know about the Dallas connection there. We got to talk more about some connections there that may be helpful for you in general. So that's
Yeah,
super
perfect.
cool.
Great.
What else? What other things about maybe just Phoenix in general? Like obviously you're a big component in downtown, that Roosevelt Row area, and just like changing it completely. Every time I talk to somebody, they're like, 10 years ago, none of this existed. Zac popped up, and then now it all exists.
No, it was at first my
The
partners were here before I was,
popped up.
but the team popped up for sure. But ASU is the real catalyst. ASU downtown is what really was the catalyst to change this whole
Go
neighborhood.
Devils. I'm never going to be upset if you're giving, a Sun Devil credit. That's always good for me.
Yeah, but I personally am really excited. I don't know if you've been to our new bar, Tropic Thunder. It's Julian Wright's bar, but we're partners with him on that. And it's Julian from Pedal House and Saki House and Lucky's and all of his concepts. But he's really got his own take on what a tiki bar should be, and it's incredible. So I highly suggest to anybody who is looking for a real experience, that's a good spot to begin at. If you come to our first Friday next in April, maybe we'll bump over there together afterwards and check it out.
Excellent. I'm all about it.
Yeah. But we're excited about that. We've got the Clive partnership that we're excited about. We've got in Rainbow partnerships with Vivili Concepts. Skylar Reeves is doing a really interesting, immersive sort of take on Italian fusion food. I don't want to get into describing his menu because I'm going to describe it wrong, but it's really, really cool. And he's got another concept in what used to be the Sutra building called Pizzanista, which is his and a skateboarder named Salman Agatz they have 2 locations in LA, one in Tokyo and one in Seoul, Korea. And so we're getting the next one here. So, I mean, I think that's amazing.
That's so cool.
It's not New York or San Francisco or something. It's here in Phoenix and Roosevelt Row. So we're honored and delighted that he's bringing those concepts here. So we're excited about that. There's a different energy in Roosevelt Row than the rest of the valley. I think it's a very youthful energy. It's a growing energy. You can feel it when you're down here. There's thousands of people moving into all of these new buildings down here. And so it's exciting to be a part of it and to see it grow. We have a 95 walk score, which is the highest in the state of Arizona. So, I mean, it's really, if you're looking for an urban kind of lifestyle where you don't have to rely on a car, it's an incredible place to be.
That's so cool. What about where does it expand to, right? So obviously Roosevelt Row, that's existing. Does it take over all of Phoenix, say, I don't know, 15 years from now, 20 years from now? How quickly can we make Phoenix the absolute, without question, best city in the country, if not the world?
I mean, I choose to live in Arizona by choice. So when I moved back from Europe, I could have lived anywhere. I love it here. So I'm not trying to say that this isn't a great city. It is. We're just trying to add a little bit more artistry to it. No, I mean, to answer your question, Atari is going to be a big catalyst for that. I mean, I think that it's going to change how people see Phoenix. That's the reason why they brought us up to CES. We went with the city of Phoenix and presented at their booth because Phoenix is becoming a tech hub. And they see Atari as being a representative aspect of the future of Phoenix. And so, we were completely honored to accompany them up to Las Vegas to present with them, and it was a great experience. Yeah, so to go back to your question of what does it look like in 10 to 15 years, it's anyone's guess, but we're hopeful that, as I said before, that there'll be more developers and more architects who are willing to take some risks, and really 15 years, maybe Phoenix could be an example of architecture done correctly and a city that grows up the right way to give back to the people who live there and to create a unique experience.
I love that. That's so cool. This has been a ton of fun. If somebody wanted to get a hold of you, especially in your new markets, what's the best way for them to do that, Zac?
Hit us up on intersectiondev.com.
Awesome. And then is there anything else you'd like to say to the people before we say our goodbyes?
No, man, just that I love talking to you, brother. Yeah, good stuff. Appreciate
That's
it.
awesome. Cool. This has been a ton of fun, listeners. I hope you had as much fun as me and Zach. And until next time, adios.
All right. Thanks, brother.
Thanks for listening to Building Scale. To help us reach even more people, please share this episode with a friend, a colleague, or on social media.
Remember, the 3 pillars of scaling a business are people, process, and technology.
And our mission is to help the AEC industry protect itself by making technology easy.
So if you think your company's technology pillar could use some improvement, book a call with us to see how we can help maximize your IT and cybersecurity strategy. Just go to buildingscale.net/help.
And until next time,
Keep building scale.
scale.